We're out here in Cartersville, riding, and we got suckered into riding with these fast guys. And yeah, 18 miles in, and we're hammering it right now.
What's up, YouTube?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you like the content, or if you've been here before, you're new here, and you enjoy what I'm putting out, if you don't mind hitting that like, subscribe, do all those cool things to do on YouTube. Sorry I haven't put out a video, but you know, between training and working full time and everything else, I mean, it's tough. And sometimes these videos come together really, really well, and other times it's like, what can I talk about today? Anyway, so I want to tell you guys, I made a few changes during training for Ironman Indiana. Number one, cutting out alcohol. Yep, cutting out alcohol until after the race. It's not going to be easy. You know, I got a lot of friends that like to go out, and after you do a long bike ride or run, you want to go out and have a few drinks or whatever. But right now, my goal is 100% Ironman Indiana. I mean, if I'm training this much, you know, might as well put everything into it. I'm not going to half-ass this race. So my philosophy is, if it's not helping me, I'm cutting it out. So bye-bye beer. Hopefully I'll see you in about 6 weeks when I cross the finish line after crushing Ironman Indiana. But hey, I'll probably still have a beer even if I do poorly. The other thing is trying to eat really, really clean. You know, I got a goal race weight. I would like to shed a few more pounds. You know, last November, December, I had a couple accidents. I hurt something in my back, and that took about a month to work through, and at the same time I fell down the stairs and landed on my ribs. And so, I mean, I at one point, they weren't broken, but at one point I was sleeping, you know, having to sleep sitting up. So put on some weight because I couldn't really exercise during that period of time, but luckily it's coming off. I mean, I think around back in May I was closer to like 180, and now I'm closer to like 160, 168, 169. So I'd like to be in the lower part of the 160s, but if it happens, it happens. You know, it's gonna be naturally. I'm not trying to cut calories during the Ironman, but if it happens, it happens. I'd be really, really happy. So, and for me to do that, you know, obviously beer, when I drink, I overeat. And then two, you know, not pigging out when I go out, or even just eating here at the house a lot more than, you know, going out. So those are two big things. Hopefully they'll pay big dividends, you know, as I go into Ironman Indiana, because I'm not half-assing this race. Anyway, training's going well. Went up to Cartersville with some buddies of mine. Cartersville is just outside of Atlanta. It's about 45 minutes away. It's an amazing place to bike ride. So us tri-nerds who go up there on the weekends, and we'll ride however far, 50, 60, 100 miles. We did roughly about 88, 89 miles, a little over 4 hours, and averaged about 22, 23 miles an hour. And it was a huge confidence booster for me, because I was able to like hold that Ironman watts that I want to do. I was able to ride my triathlon bike, you know, got aero, still need to work on that aero, still need to spend more time in the aero, because you know, you can ride aero for 56 miles, but it becomes a lot harder to ride aero for 112 miles. But huge confidence booster. I'll be going back up there and riding at least 4 or 5 more times before Indiana, you know, because just getting out on the TT bike is very important for this race. Sunday, went out and did a long run. I was able to average about 8:30 pace, keeping it nice and easy. There's a lot of big hills, some flat area, trying to replicate Ironman Indiana. And what I was doing was a 9-1 block. And what I mean by that is I was running for 9 minutes and walking for a minute. Some people think if you're walking, you're not really running. But to me, walk, run, especially on long runs, you know, allows you to keep your heart rate lower, allows you to recover. And from when I'm running, you know, if I'm running straight for 3 hours, my hips start tightening up, my knees start tightening up, and that walk gives me a different gait during that period of time. And you're basically focused on that 10 minutes instead of, you know, for a 9-1, you're focused on that 10 minutes instead of being like, oh, I've got to run 20 miles, I've got to run 3 hours. For me, it's like, oh, I need to do this for the next 10 minutes. I'll move on to the next block. And then you can say, okay, I've got 18 blocks I've got to do, you know, and just count them off. And so I'm thinking that kind of strategy is what I'm leaning towards for Ironman Indiana, because my goal is, you know, I've blown up in, you know, numerous marathons off the bike, run really well for the first 13, 17, 18 miles, and then just die. So I'm hoping that some type of run walk will get me to mile 20, and then I can reassess the situation. Like, do I need to run these last 6 miles? Yeah, so I think that that's gonna become my strategy. We'll see, you know, keep talking to my coach, you know, figure out as we're getting closer, start dialing in a little more of that race strategy. You know, I got an estimate of what I'm gonna push on the bike and then the run, so I'm constantly thinking about that. So that also was a huge confidence booster. I was able to run for 20 miles and didn't feel beat up at the end. I'm actually out there taking Instagram reels, you know, playing around after my run was over, and that's normally I'm like, oh my God, just let me go home so I can take a nap. So other than that, I'm also spending a lot of time in the pool 4 or 5 days a week, trying to get in between 10 and 15,000 yards. I mean, but swimming is swimming. I'm not getting any better, not regressing, still working on my stroke, trying to improve it. But for me right now, the swim fitness is key. It's like, you know, get through the swim, get on the bike. You know, don't feel gassed when you come out of the swim. And for me, because I swim so much, as soon as I hit land, it's like, oh, I don't even know what I just did. I'm running to my bike and jumping on my bike, and I cut out like 2 or 3 minutes out of transition because I feel really, really good coming out of the water. And when I see I suck at swimming. I mean, I'm not horrible, but I would like to be at the same level as I am for the bike and the run. And my bike and my run is much, much better. I mean, I'm probably like 50th in the swim, and then I'm like top 3 in the bike or top 3 in the runs, especially when it comes to half Ironman. So I'd like to get that 50th into the top 10. Who knows that's ever gonna happen? Probably not. Maybe when I'm in the 80 to 84 age group, but yeah. And then I did an open water swim the weekend before last with my daughter. It was just a 1K open water swim, and I really felt great there. I was able to like change speeds, draft off people. I didn't feel any issues in the water, and I was going hard, you know, trying to use endurance aspect of the swim, because I mean, I have a lot of endurance. It's just like, do I have the strength to swim? I think that's kind of where I'm lacking. But as I'm coming in, me and another guy were coming in, I basically was able to out sprint him to the finish line. So that gave me a huge booster. At the same time, my daughter beat me by a minute and a half, and she's 12 years old. I will say she does make state cuts and goes to state meets, and she's really, really good, but swims with the high school kids. So we're always swimming together, but she's well past me. Anyway, it pushes me, you know, I take her out, we do open water swims all the time. It's really, really great. Anyway, that is what's going on. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. There's only about, like I said, 6 weeks. I'm guesstimating there till Ironman Indiana. I'm feeling really, really strong right now. I mean, obviously second guessing myself. My one fear is that as these numbers spike of the virus, that there could possibly be a cancellation. Hope that's not gonna be the case. Muncie's in the middle of nowhere, or the race is 20 minutes from Muncie, and it's in the middle of nowhere. And I'm hoping that because of that, they would still allow us to race. It's Indiana, so we'll see. Anyway, hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, do all those cool things to do on YouTube, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.